And it's clearly something Apple really wants to focus on at this event, because this week they cleared the decks of a bunch of other projects. They introduced new iPads, new iMacs, new AirPods all the week before their event, which is pretty unprecedented for them. So they really want people to focus on this. Now, the question is it going to be an Apple exclusive thing? Do you have to have an Apple device to use it? Will it be available to a wider audience, which is probably a smart idea? And how much of it is really going to be a Netflix-style service, or are they just going to have a handful of shows, but it's more about reselling you Netflix and HBO, which frankly they already do through the App Store and take a cut of that, just expanding that business.
Angelo, what are you expecting? What are your great expectations for this streaming service?
Well, I think the expectations clearly are rising here, likely because of what Apple has done this week, and that is kind of putting all the hardware to the side here, essentially putting out all this new great stuff via press releases where they would typically have a spring event to unveil these products. So our view is, going into this event here, expect to hear a lot of commentary, at least we hope, on bundling opportunities. What is Apple going to unveil from a content perspective, as well as from a third-party content perspective? But I think more importantly, will Apple do anything where they combine some of this stuff with, let's say, an Apple Music or what have you, where we think could add additional stickiness and potentially drive upside to other services out there?
Angela, I'm curious, we're at a point in the stock where you got to look back to maybe the end of November or so, and you wonder whether or not the things that brought Apple's stock down during the last couple of months of the year, if those issues have resolved themselves. I mean, in terms of the higher cost phone, in terms of softness in China, in terms of the concern about the ability of the company to innovate. I mean, are those things in the rearview mirror now? Have we put those to rest, or investors just at this point willing to look through because they're going to unveil this new streaming service?
Well, I think there's a number of things here. I think, yes, one, I think the excitement surrounding the streaming service definitely at the top of the list. When you look at the multiple here in Apple, trading around 15 times our 2020 estimate, and that's pretty much in line where the stock has traded here over the last decade. But that being said, we think something else investors have to look at is the fact that we've probably hit max pain point on the iPhone side of things. We think you're likely going to see about 180 to 190 million units on the iPhone side of things this year. But that being said, there's a major catalyst ahead in 2020, and that's of course going to be 5G. So we think at this point, the uncertainty surrounding iPhones in 2019, all that hatred is baked into the stock, and investors, to your point, are already looking ahead towards a potential great cycle in 2020.